Now. Yay, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Coaching to Flourish podcast. I am your co-host, John Andrew Williams. Raj is out again this week, and hopefully she will be back next week, and we'll have more coaching demos. I'm just holding down the fort, doing what I can at this point, and going to do a slight book review of Shonda Rhimes here, The Year of Yes. I know this is an older book, but oh my goodness, it is oldie and a goodie. And I also appreciate too her latest work with Bridgerton, which we have been enjoying as a family. And it's been a journey, and I think that the idea of being able to watch something together has been really sweet and debrief it and all the things. But anyway, here we are, and the year of yes. And what a couple of insights that I got from this that I want to share. The first one, and this just comes in the introduction itself, and this is going to be a play along with ideas. The first one, the sentence that really struck me the most was this on page 15, the introduction. It says, "My destiny rides squarely on the back of," and then I'll fill in the blank here in a minute, but let's just do a pause and reflect moment of, if you were to ask yourself, what does your destiny ride squarely on the back of? How would you finish that sentence? A lot of us would look at the divine, go one more step and get more specific. And if you can make it something, a character trait in yourself as well, let's go there. Let's go there too. And so you think, how would you finish the sentence? Your destiny rides squarely on the back of our first pause and reflect moment. I'll do it too. Fun question, isn't it? Shonda finishes it with, "My destiny rides squarely on the back of my imagination." And when I read this, I was thinking to myself, how lucky is this person that it's imagination, it's the ability to create, to make up things, that is the engine of her destiny. I think that is so cool. And one of the things that got me into this book in the first place was thinking, all right, I'm in. What does that look like? I think the other thing that really struck me too is how disciplined she was for so long. And the idea of even this book itself, The Year of Yes, is from someone who has said no to a lot of these things for so long. And so then the other part of this is all of us, myself included, who are in the process of building, they're in the process of making, in the process of dreaming, in the process of putting something together. It's, how are we squaring with also that season of no, the season of complete focus, the season where you will say no to social things or no to things, and so that you have the time and space and energy to put into the work at hand. And that's the other thing that struck me with this book too, is the almost the irony of the title of The Year of Yes after, let's say, a decade of no. There's that, and that's another idea that struck me here, and it comes out with where does it come out? I have notes here on page, I believe, 31. That it's, it's this idea that it's amazing that someone at the height of their career could also be miserable and face huge challenges on page 30. This came, thinking about this comes at a bit of a, this is what happens. This is the sacrifice it takes to do your life's work, and then to recover from it, and then to say, I'm changing it after a decade of no. Oh my goodness, that's a thing. That is a thing here. So the question to us in the pause and reflect moment is, what is your balance between yes and no in your life? What balance do you want to have? And what do you see? What do you feel like you want to say yes to more? And what do you feel like you want to say no to? These are the questions that this book brings up for me, and I pass them along to you. I answer them too for myself. All right, next one. I got one more here for you. This is also from the introduction. It's on page 17, where she's talking about writing for different television shows. And every week, she has to have another deadline that she has to produce, so she can stay as head of the seasons and things like this. It reminds me very much when I was putting together the advanced coach training, the first edition of it, when I had a number of people who were interested, and we were, as an organization, trying to get the level 2 accreditation from the ICF, or what's now called level 2 from the ICF. And I needed to put this together, but I told the people who are enrolling in the class, look, I've only had the class about a third to halfway built. Like, I am creating sessions, maybe 3 to 4 weeks before I'm actually rolling them out. Are you okay with this? Are we okay rolling this out like in this way? And I had I think I had 8 or 10 people who were all said yes at the same time. So I said, now is the time to do it. And I remember this feeling of the sensation really uh, of what the pressure of that, and how I don't know if there was any way I could have gone through and created the advanced class in that way, with all the pressure of, young little ones trying to develop websites, look at marketing, look at all the things that businesses have. And at the same time, actually finish the book that I was in the process of writing, without having that class of people who was also expecting it. So I had an audience, albeit a small one, and one that I designed this with, but I had an audience that was expecting me to produce something at a certain time. And it wasn't comfortable, it wasn't very fun. And some of the things I had to go back and revise, sure. But I remember the pressure of that. And I would invite the same reflection. If there's something in your life that that is the most important thing that you need to do, that you feel called to do, that there is a certain pressure there. How can you use that pressure, or how can you design the pressure in order for you to accomplish the project? I'll pause and reflect as well. So it's fascinating, right? When you go into these ideas of having to show up for the sake of someone else, or having to show up because you're meeting someone else. This reminds me even of this morning, where there was a thing that was canceled. It's usually like a group exercise thing. They were doing some repairs, so they canceled Tuesday morning class. And I was thinking to myself, there's no way I'd get myself to the gym if I wasn't expected to be there at a certain time to meet certain people to do this, to do this kind of thing. But instead, we went for a run, and it was lovely, and it was nice, and it was good, and deeply enjoyed it. But I was thinking to myself, there's no way I even would have had gone for this run had I not had that previous thing that was canceled. And it made me realize, as humans, part of our resilience, part of our discipline, and there's a myth, is that we have to somehow gut it out solo, like where we can't, it's somehow the solo genius working in isolation that is the most useful thing. And we just need so much of the research says we need other people to hold us accountable. We need to be accountable to a group, especially to do some of the most important work. And you think about all the artists, people who create things, they're doing it for an audience. They're doing it for a group of people. It is primarily a social activity that is done somewhat in isolation, but then is shared socially. And so what these projects, and you're looking at these projects, it's about how do you design a way that like people are expecting you to create something at a certain time. And then once it's created, then it becomes, it becomes a thing that you can then move forward because you have an audience expecting it. This reminds me a little bit of what Seth Godin's talking about, where once you have an audience and people are expecting it from you, you instead of feeling like your work is going to, you have to push it uphill to be noticed. It's almost like your work's has starting to become pushed downhill, where people expect it from you, and because it's expected, you have pressure to produce it. It's both sides of the coin. All of this to say, in what ways are you designing and making friends with the pressure so that you have a production train rolling? And what is your production train? How's it doing? Where's it going? All these kinds of questions. This is what I got from uh, this book of Yes so far. Not completely through it, but just the beginning tidbits of it. And uh, I wanted to share uh, my thoughts on this author, what I'm getting from the book, and pass it on to you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this community. Raj will be back next week. We're going to go back to our coaching demos, and we have a great Tuesday, great rest of May. I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.